Hello everybody, Water here. Welcome to episode 41 of my Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series with the Space Dot and DLC. In the previous episode, we finally got our hands on some niobium to make thermium, and today I would like to use that thermium in the core of the current mega project, which will take at least this episode and likely the next couple. So with that said, let's jump back into the game and have a look. And here we are at the building site of the aforementioned mega project. Now, my dupes still need to make a bit more thermal before I can really get started here, so in the intermediate time I would like to start working on this last story trait down here, namely the biobot builder. So first we need to restore the building, let's increase the priority for that. Then we need to inspect and rummage and empty and inspect and rummage and inspect, and then last inspect down there. Now, at the top, I will need to open this here up for now, because I need actually access to this layer here later on. But what am I going to need is a contraption that produces zombie spores in great amounts. So I'm going to need 6 of those flower pots here, because zombie spores can't be put into farm tiles, unfortunately. Then I need a layer of window tiles around, like so. Then I can place the wall pots in those spots, and I really should go higher with the priority for all of this here. So like that. So now we have a new story trait. Our restoration work is complete. A small plug on this building's mechanical assembly tank reads: Pathogen Fueled Extravehicular Geo-Exploratory Guidebot Y, or short PEGI. The adjacent tank contains the floating shape of a half-formed organism. Its vivid coloring reminds me of the poisonous amphibians that were eradicated from our home planet's jungles. A tattered transcript printout was recovered from the mess. So let's close that and continue over here. Now I will need to get in here, so obviously I need to put in a little vacuum or liquid lock. So then these needs to go, this needs to go. This one I'm going to leave for now, since I still need to reach the various parts. Similar to this door. Then I will need a couple pumps, gas pumps, out of gold amalgam, just so even if the seats up, I won't have to get in here and repair them, since this will be a danger zone without real equal. Those for now will be used to evacuate the chamber. I also need one more down there. I will also need a gas pipe germ sensor and a shut-off right there. Now, the gases come from down, go to the side, and then flow down again via a gas bridge. And the second bridge here comes later on from the pumps at the top in here. I just need to connect those two. I also need automation wire and power wire. So that is that part done. Now I can put in a pedestal for the liquid lock. And here I should be able to put in the sprockets. Yeah, that is exactly what I want to see. But first I actually need to get this part down here built, and then I can close this off. And I might as well actually replace this here with a window tile, just because I can. It's not really necessary. So, anything else I need? Yeah, carbon dioxide. So this, for this to work, I'm going to need a pipe full of carbon dioxide, which I can grab from over here. So what am I going to need is a pipe going down here, and let's just connect there. No, I need to go down, down and down and down. Then let's just bridge over here. Then at some point I will have to go to the right. And then I should be pretty close already to the build here. Let's see. Ah, down here. So, that's that done. And now let's have a quick look at the printable. I'm currently hoping to get some slicksters, but I'm not that lucky right now. But sooner or later I will get some slicksters or slickster eggs, which will be very useful pretty soon. So this is all built. I can close this off. And now I just need to close this off, get the vacuum going, and then I can put in the sprockets, and then finally put in once I have this properly closed off the missing carbon dioxide. And then everything here should actually be ready to go. And a bit later everything is now in place, so I can start by powering it. It actually took a bit longer to build just the pipe for the carbon dioxide than the entire rest of this, but now we are ready to go here. So let's have a look, just speed this up. Now, what happens here is we are going to pump in zombie-infested carbon dioxide, which is pumped into the machine. Here it extracts up to 10,000 jumps per second. And once the packets here have less than the 10,000, they are removed from the pipe, put back into the system or into this chamber here to be re-zombified. And then the next packet here is provided via the pumps in its place. And we should see very soon this actually happening. So just one more cycle. Yeah, there we go. You can see the first few bits are being removed and replaced via carbon dioxide fresh from the chamber. And that is now going to be all we need to fill this here with almost 10 million germs. And once that is reached, I will have for a couple cycles a biobot which can provide some basic labor. Now, with that running in the background, we can concentrate on this build here now, since we now have enough thermium. Now, the first thing I need to do is actually put in a couple of pipes, because I'm going to need a lot of different liquids in here, and just water won't be enough. So, for that, I'm going to start with a couple pipes here out of insulated ceramic pipes, for reasons that will become obvious later on. And for now, I'm just going to reuse part of this pipe here. And then from down here, I'm going to use the pipe for magma. Going to cut off here, cutting off here. And for now, I'm going to just turn off the pump here permanently. And yeah, in about 30 cycles, we should have some magma coming along on demand, which will be very useful once we start heating up the steam chamber. But for now, I'm just going to leave this pipe here up to maybe the spot as ceramic. Now, over here, I'm currently just providing water, but I think I'm actually going to reuse this pipe here for also other liquids. So first, let's actually get rid of this pipe here. It seems it's no longer needed. We don't have a pressure issue in this area here anymore. So yeah, let's just get rid of this here instead. And then I am going to get the pipe down here, follow this line here, down to here, and then to over there, bridge there, bridge there, bridge there. And that's all I need to get it connected to this wire or this pipe here, which can on demand provide any kind of liquid I'm going to need in the near future. So, and yeah, the next step is just waiting until all of those pipes here are in place. But in the intermediate time, I can already start putting in a few things in this corner here. Namely, I'm going to start with the two aqua tuners out of thermium, here and here. They will obviously need some pipes. So I need a bridge there, another bridge there. Then let's go with ceramic pipes. A connection here. Then I have a pipe coming in from up there, going over to here, then down and then over. This one here goes through here and then straight up. Then let's see, I need to go. That is a total of 4, total of 2. Then I need radiant pipes out of aluminum. I can go with this. In this case, then I need, yeah, that is the correct shape over here. Now, that is the cooling loop done. Then next up, I need some power wire for these here. So let's go with, you know what, I'm going to use copper here, just up to this spot. Then I need some automation. I am going to need, for one, a thermosensor right here. This one here I will leave out for now. I also going to need one more there. The other ones will have to wait. Then some power wire or automation wire. So this one here goes down to this spot via a bridge. Then I have one going down from here to those two. And for now, I'm going to temporarily add a switch a bit higher. Then I have one going up twice here. And then under utilities, I also need a couple temp shift plates. And here, let's go at least in here with diamond. In those spots. Over here, I could use aluminium. Just to be safe, I'm going to use diamond here too. Just to be on the safe side. So, then, in here, I am going to need... let's just get this here built. But what I'm also going to need is some conductive wire. Going up to this spot here, then over to here, and then straight up. And again, let's go with copper. I have more copper than anything else, so it makes sense to use that. Good. Then I need also some wire going over here. And I think to this spot here. Yeah. And then also a bit further. So that is a good point to start with. And just shortly after, we have our first biobot being around. And as you can see, it works similarly to a pretty simple dupe without any real additional skill points invested. And it will run for, what is that, 6 cycles? Yeah, around about 6 cycles. Okay, that's a decent amount of time. So, let's have a look. So, success. My Duplicants' efforts to get the biobot builder up and running have finally paid off. Our first fully assembled Peggy biobot is ready to perform tasks in hazardous environments, which means less exposure to dangers for my Duplicants. There seems to be no limit to the number of biobots that we can produce. A small toybot was found discarded behind a spore tank. It occasionally plays a deteriorating laugh track. And there is the toybot. Okay. Good. And now we're just waiting again until we have the 10 million germs. And then occasionally we will have more than one biobot running around. And in case you're wondering what happens with the steel that is being used to create the biobot body, well, once the biobot dies, the steel is retrieved. So, no. But, as you can see, the pipes are still being built and we haven't really even finished down here. What you can also see, I started putting in a bit more pipe down here, since there is still a decent amount of water in this pipe at the top there, and that might as well be put to use in this tank down here once a bit more of the seedling is put in. Which I'll work on the moment Gosman here is done with the temp shift plate, which is right now. So I need a couple temp shift plates here, out of cobalt, also up there. I also need to close this area off and another one there. I will also need out of cobalt another joint plate in this spot, and then I can go back to normal materials for another one there. Then some heavy watt wire here, then going up here, wait, down there, and then connecting to this wire here. Next up, it's time for a couple of mechanized airlocks out of steel. One here, one there, and a last one in this spot there. Then I need some automation in the form of a thermal sensor connecting to this door down here. And just to improve the heat transfer a little bit more, I'm going to add 2 conveyor bridges here with a couple of rails to avoid any warning messages. So this needs to be built, and then I can put in the rest of the water that's still in this pipe at the top there. And before I forget it, I also need the power wire for this one here. Then going all the way to over here and then up to this spot. And to build this, I'm going to need a couple ladders down there. Automation for this one here will follow in a bit, although I can already put that in. So this is going to, yeah, copper should be enough. Yeah, copper should be enough. That should go up to this spot here, where I will have another thermosensor. And Ruby, what are you doing? This is typical dupe behavior. When you can find a way to kill yourself, they will find a way to kill themselves. So now that Obi is out of there. Let's prioritize this here a little bit higher. And then let's build this in again. This is all in place, so now I can put in an insulated tile out of ceramic. And then the missing joint plate here in the middle. Yeah, copper is sufficient for all of that. Okay, then... yeah, let's get this in place, and then also the water as already mentioned. And now I can close this off with a metal tile, followed by insulated tiles on top. Then, once that is in place, I can mop up in the water here and get rid of it. So because I don't want any kind of liquid or gas in this area here. While we're waiting on that, over here I can put in a couple more layers of cobalt, and the bottom layer should be prioritized a bit more. Then, next to that, I am going to need a couple insulated tiles, also here. And yeah, this will come... I don't know what, I'm going to leave that for now. I'll work on that a bit later. But over here, I can at least add another layer of, this time, aluminium tiles up to this spot here. And then I can also, under utilities, grab myself a liquid tapidizer out of steel, place it here. That is temporary. I just use it as a heat source so I can heat the coolant for these two thermal aqua tuners here to a point where they actually produce heat, because all of this water here needs to be set up to 700 degrees. Subsequently, this here needs to be below 700. This one here needs to be below 600, which is also the temperature I want to have in this area here. And yeah, I need, as I said, a heat source for that to work out properly. I can also add another couple metal tiles over here, and here I am going with copper. I don't want metal that is too good at heat transfer in this space, since the liquid could actually boil off in the pipes that are going through this. And while I'm talking about those, I might as well add those already in this spot there. And then I have some insulated pipes going up to this spot here. And with this now also closed off, and a little bit of supercoolant on top of the liquid tapidizer, I can start the thermal aqua tuners. Now the tapidizer is still not running since it's not properly submerged, but there is a trick to get it running even without that, and that is giving it a quickly alternating signal, which I can do very easily with a short-circuited NOT gate, like so. That is basically all I need to add here, and yeah, this will go on, off, on, off, on, off, over and over, and will override the not submerged in liquid state of the liquid tapidizer. Now, while this is running, and as you can see, this is slow going since there is a lot of water to heat up, and I need to go up to 700 degrees. Yeah, this is going to take a decent amount of time, so I can continue over here with the petroleum boiler, which will be attached to this sour gas boiler here. And leave a comment if you already knew what this is going to be before I actually told you right now. Anyway, let's continue over here with a bit of a floor. Then on top of that I need a liquid pump right there. And it appears I went a bit too high with the wire there. That is not really needed there. So then I need the output for this, which goes first over, then down, and then further down. And then we have the actual pipe here, and I'm going to use copper for that again. I don't want to use any really good metal over here, since aluminum also would very quickly boil off the crude oil in the pipes. So anyway, I need to get up to this spot here, then one over, up and over, and that's where the liquid vent goes. Exactly. Then I need the connections here and here, and down there I have the connection down, then with a bridge here, then over there, and then up to this spot, and that should be 11 wide. Yeah, that's looking good. Then I have every other one straight down. Yeah, the ladders are just in the wrong spot for that, but I will worry about this once the rest is in place. So, as well as with the output here. Okay, then I'm still missing a couple of things, namely temp shift plates, and here I'll go with aluminium, right in this spot, and also right in this spot there. I will also add a couple insulated tiles out of ceramic here. And don't worry about heat transfer about the temp shift plate, or between the temp shift plate and those insulated tiles. That is somewhat wanted. I want those as a bit of a heat reservoir or heat sink, depending on the situation. So then over here, I'm also going to need a couple of tiles. Those can be normal igneous rock though. Then for now, one up there, and the rest I'll leave out until I have the bottom part done, and only then I'm going to fill the intermediate layer, since they will be a bit too close or too low for my tubes. I'm still missing, though, I just noticed the hydro sensor in this corner to control the pump and only pump out when it's actually making sense. And believe it or not, we are almost done with the petroleum boiler already. So all you need to do is add one more layer here. You might have noticed I closed this here off, so I can already put in a bit of petroleum, which should make the startup later on a bit easier. While I'm here, I might as well set this here to above 404 degrees. And this here above 545 degrees. So that can heat up without any issue right now. So, but as I said, I need to get in this layer, then this layer here next, but this one here at the bottom has the higher priority, obviously. And then I can close off the corner over here. And once that is in place, I can also close off this part here. And we're basically done with the petroleum boiler. I also added the metal tiles over here. And a bit ago, I also replaced the short-circuited NOT gate here with a timer sensor, since just 50% of on time wasn't enough to keep up with the two aquatoners. But with 0.1 seconds off and 0.9 seconds on, this is now producing more heat than actually necessary for those two. But this is still going to take a decent amount of time, so I'm going to continue building the heat exchanger over here. So I am going to start with, actually at the very top, with two liquid vents here and here, right below those mesh tiles. Then I am going to need some pipes, radiant pipes in those spots. Then this one here goes up to this spot, this one here goes up to this spot, this actually goes one higher. Then I have a liquid valve here, a liquid meter there. I will need some signal switch automation here. Then back to the pipe. So this pipe goes to the top and also to the bottom. This will be an overflow mechanic here. Then for now this will go just to this spot here and then bridge over. That is where the crude oil will come in. Then let's see, up here I can make a little room. Let's keep it open for now, it's not really that important right now. Then next up is power. I am going to start with the heavy watt wire going all the way to this spot here. Then normal wire for the rest up to there, and then over here through a future wall. That looks good. Then I have the conductive bridges, which go all the way to, wait, not there, to there. Then next up are the pipes. I have radiant pipes in those spots here. Then gases, radiant gas pipes all the way to the top here. I will also have another radiant or insulated gas pipe going up here, which I will worry about later on, which will go somewhere in this direction. Then next up I have automation. First some ribbon wire up to this spot, and then I will have some ribbon wire bridges all the way to the top there. And then finally we have shipping with a couple conveyor bridges going all the way to the top, and some conveyor rails. And the reason I'm putting all of this here in, which doesn't make much sense on the first glance, is I'm putting in crude oil. And with the mesh tile below the vents, this turns into a bead pump, which pumps up the gases that will be produced at the very bottom here, the sour gas, very quickly upwards. So quickly that this heat exchanger here has a very low efficiency without all of the other stuff, because all of the other things I've put in here actually exchange heat with the gas and the liquid at the same time. So I'm multiplying basically the ratio of heat exchange between the two by just putting in additional, well, materials. That is at least the basic idea behind all of this here. So this needs to be put in, and then I need at the very top also an airflow tile, which can actually be out of iron ore, and then the rest will have to be insulated tiles out of ceramic. And I almost forgot to add the liquidants here for even more thermal mass. By the way, this heat exchanger and also the second one are both from a design by Leofarr. Link for that is in the description. The rest of the design I cobbled together myself though. Anyway, time for the second heat exchanger, and for that, since I can't really do anything down here until I am up to the proper temperature, I'll start well, above this area obviously. So what I'm going to need is, let's just stop for a moment. So I will have to add a metal tile here, yep, that's the correct height, and then one every other step. And I'm stopping for right now because I will have to keep some space open so I can get my loops through here. Then the intermediate spots are filled in with insulated tiles. And yeah, that is correct. So then one more insulated tile in this spot there. Okay. Now, I'm just going to open this up so my tubes can, as I said, still reach everything. Like so. Now, similarly to before, I'm going to add bridges. But before I actually do that, I should work on the automation and the shipping first. And this one here actually needs to be moved to this side there. Okay, now, shipping. I am going to start with a conveyor load, and even though this should be cold, I'm just going to make sure by making it of steel. Then the conveyor, the auto sweeper I can't place right now, but what I can do is put in the wiring. Then I am going to need under shipping a conveyor meter, and that is going straight up at this height there. Now, for conveyor rails, it's pretty simple, just up to into this one here, and then for now just straight up to this spot there. Then I can grab the missing bridges and place them all just in here. In this case, it's not meant to be just thermal mass, but instead it's meant to transfer heat from this corner or from this side onto the other side. So much more efficient than just having the alternating pattern of metal tiles and insulated tiles there. Then let's just go backwards again. So I need automation. So for that, let's start down here. These two I can't place. Then I'm going just up with these here. Then down here, I'm going to need a constant signal for the meter, and for that I'm going to just use a NOT gate. Wait, that was the wrong button. So, no. And that is the wrong position. Come on. So, just a NOT gate. Dot here, and then connect it there, so it gets a negative signal, so it turns on constantly. It will also need power again, so from down there. Now for power, I can't place any here, since it would overdraw. So I need to start, or can only start a bit higher. But it's not really an issue. Now, with power, then next is plumbing. I'm just going to add a couple pipes going all the way up here, or bridges to be more precise. Then just to avoid any messages, I'm going to add the pipes themselves, similarly the gas bridges. The pipes for these here. And the shipping is already in place, if I remember correctly. Yeah, shipping is already in place. So I went ahead a bit and already put in the wall on the outside of the heat exchanger here. A too high opening, so the pressure in here doesn't build up as high. And now let's have a look. We're still not at the 700 degrees, so I'm giving this a bit more time. So let's continue further on the right here with the gas pumps out of steel. And I'm going to start at the layer there, and that should be 14 in total. Now for the gas pipes, I just need to connect them in pairs. Like so. And for power, let's start with the power actually, because that is going to be a bit more annoying. Because I need to go up here, and that is not all reachable. So let's just add a couple ladders here and there. So my tubes should be able to reach everything. Okay. Now, I'm not done with the pipes though. Each of those gets a connection further down, like so. Then for the last pair, I'm making a little bit of an addition here, which is hopefully all reachable. Oh, that is not reachable. Let's open this up again for a moment, so my tubes can build this from the back. That is to avoid issues with those pumps here starting or stopping when the pipes are full and then starting to run again with a little bit of a delay. And that way I can bridge over those delays. Okay, so that are almost all of the things I need to do. Now they just get a dot of wire on the end of, or dot of pipe on the end of those here, and then I'm going straight out. Then add a bridge like so. Then I need to, let me think. Although the rest I can do a bit later, this is for now the important part. Those need to be built, and then I'm just going to add one more wall on the side here, once all of this here is in place at least. And here we go. Now in the intermediate time, we reached decent temperatures over here, so I've already gotten rid of the tempedizer. And now it's time to finish in this area. So first I'm going to start with some shipping, which is going to be a steel auto sweeper right in this spot here. And then an insulated tire here, followed by a metal tile there, then an airflow tile here. Of course, this over here needs to be built first. Then, in the middle there, I need a temp shift plate. Come on, temp shift plate out of aluminium. Right in the middle there. Then, a thermosensor. Material doesn't really matter. Right there. And once this is built, I'm going to put in 910, so a full tile of supercoolant. And after some minor cleanup, I can also close this off here. Now the last part is adding a joint plate right here and another one. And this is going to be out of steel here, in case I decide to drop the magma right in there. I definitely don't want to have this here opened up by this part there melting. Now, I'm also going to need another insulated tire here, and this one here needs to be built first, for obvious reasons. Now, next step. I need still to set this here to 4 kilograms and this one here to above minus 180 degrees Celsius. So, that is basically all I need to do to finish with the sour gas boil itself. Obviously, I still need to do something with the produced natural gas, but this will come in the next episode. For now, I would like to finish with the input of the petroleum boiler. And first, I'm actually going to get rid of these two buildings over here. Now, let's get started. I am going to need a couple liquid meters. 5 in total here, then another one there. I will change the connection a bit. So this needs to be connected like so. We'll have to add a ladder. Won't be necessary. I will have something a bit better anyway. Now, I am going to need a layer of insulated tiles, and since the content will be a bit warm, I'm going with ceramic here. So then, come on, get this done. Now, 2 more there. Just to make this look a bit better, I'm going to add a ladder again. Then in the middle here, 2 normal tiles. So, next up, I need liquid reservoirs, and I'm going with gold amalgam just to be on the safe side, although this shouldn't heat up too much in here. Then this one here is for the output, so this is just connected with this one there. Or do I want to go like so? Yeah, let's go like this. And then here, straight down. Now for these I have the input going through here, then up, and then following this line and going down. I will have a second line going down. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, let's add the second line via a bridge like so. That should be safe. Yeah, that works. And next up, I need, again, bridges. Those spaces. Then I'm just going to connect the bridges on each end. Like so. Now for automation, I need first a NOT gate. Yeah, let's go with gold. Then I need the wiring, and this I can now also make out of gold again. Just going to connect them with the reset of those meters here. Then over here, one more, or a bit more wire. Then another NOT gate. And now an automatic notifier as an overflow warning. And that should be pretty much all for right now. So apparently I made a little mistake earlier. I accidentally placed a temp shift plate in this corner, which is now exchanging heat with those insulated tiles here, and they are heating up immensely, which is not really what I'm looking for. So my solution to that, and in case you have a similar problem, a double liquid lock. This one here I'm using liquid naphtha, and since this here is above the boiling temperature of naphtha, I'm actually going to use molten lead as the second one. A bit will swap over, but I will just mop this up. As long as my dupes don't remain in here for too long, it shouldn't be deadly to them. But besides of that, I now have this here in place, so I can get rid of the metal tile here and get this situation here corrected. And the mistake is rectified. I had a little bit of an issue with the naphtha at the last moment turning into sour gas due to getting in contact with the molten lead, but yeah, I did leak a decent amount of heat, but it's now rectifying itself, especially since the cooling loop is right next to this. And yeah, with that said, this here is done. Everything here is closed off, except I still need to reclose this again. For obvious reasons, my dupe built this before they actually built the joint plates, so yeah, I had to reopen this up. Now, over here, let's start with the modification. So this is the overflow of the petroleum boiler. Yeah, check the petrol. And that is actually a very important warning. Okay, now this still needs to be built. In the intermediate time, I also got a bit lucky with a draw from the printing pot, because I now have 3 lava eggs in here, which means we have all we're going to need to actually finish with this build here, probably in the next episode. And with that, it's time to finish the settings for all of this here. So I'm going to start at the top here with 5 kilograms, then 1 kilogram, and then copying this for the last 4. Then this one here will be from 10 to 90. 10 to 20. Then let's quickly copy this setting to make things a bit faster. So this will be 12 at the bottom, then 14, then 16, and the last is 18 to 20. And then this one here will be 45 to 55. And this one here I'm going to leave at 0, because starting this up requires this here to be up to a decent temperature, so around about 600 degrees, and that is not the case currently, so I can't really start this up. Now the idea behind this build is I want this to be able to regulate itself in a way that avoids small packages going through the system here. And the way I set this up, if it works as intended, is that I have at least 5 kilogram packets, and if there is on average coming in more, I will increase this in steps of 1 kilogram. So let's say we get a bit more than 6 kilograms per second as an input. Then this one here will run continuously, this one here will run continuously, and this one here will run occasionally with the setup I'm going for. And that means that it would fluctuate between 6 and 7 kilos constantly, and not sometimes 6 kilos, sometimes 7 kilos, sometimes 1 kilo packet, which could cause issues with boiling off within the pipes. So that is the reason I am setting up it a bit more complex here. But with that said, we have finished all I had planned for today, which is setting up the sour gas boiler and the petroleum boiler with its control circuitry. And next time, as I already mentioned, we are going to concentrate on this steam chamber over here. And with that, we've reached the actual end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and comment if you did so. It really helps with the algorithm. Independent of that, I wish you a nice day, and well, see you.